China intensifies espionage and influence in Taiwan. Taifeng Tires closes Guanyin factory amid U.S. tariff pressure. Kaohsiung cracks down after deadly drunk driving spree. Trump says U.S. will end sanctions on Syria. Philippines Duterte wins hometown mayoral election. Judge Resentences Menendez brothers over 1989 murders. Uruguay's José Mujica, world's poorest president, dies. United unveils new Dreamliner aircraft interior.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Thursday, May 15th, Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, Taiwan's National Security Report warns that China is intensifying espionage and influence operations, targeting youth with rat tourism and promoting cultural unification. Spy cases surged from 6 in 2020 to 64 in 2023. Beijing also uses retired officers, money, and coercion to infiltrate Taiwan's military and government agencies. Taiwan's 70-year-old tire maker Taifeng announced permanent closure of its Guanyin factory and asset sale. Orders will shift to Southeast Asia. Experts say U.S. tariffs were the final blow, forcing the historic local brand to cease production. The company hopes to focus on overseas manufacturing to stay competitive. Kaohsiung sees 2 fatal drunk driving crashes in 3 days. Mayor Chen orders strict enforcement. Police launch a 3-day crackdown, arresting 26 drunk drivers on the first night. Despite previous claims of reduced deaths, the recent incident sparked outrage and calls for tougher penalties. And in global news, President Donald Trump announced that the U.S. would cease sanctions against war-torn Syria to give them a chance at greatness, as he seeks to strengthen ties with Saudi Arabia and other nations. In his speech, Trump presented Middle Eastern leaders with a vision of a future marked by prosperity, business deals, and technological advances, which he described as an antidote to historic divisions.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
His rhetoric contrasted with former President Joe Biden, who called the kingdom a pariah before taking office. Biden struggled to regain diplomatic footing with Saudi leaders after confronting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over the 2018 death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a prominent government critic. During Trump's first term, he maintained friendly relations with the Saudis despite international outrage over Khashoggi's death, which U.S. intelligence officials said was approved by bin Salman. On Tuesday, Trump offered a vision of rising regional powers focused on homegrown economic development.
Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was almost certain to be elected mayor of his home city by a landslide on Monday, unimpeded by his detention at the International Criminal Court on charges of murder as a crime against humanity. With 80% of votes counted in an unofficial tally, Duterte, who was brought to The Hague in March over his bloody war on drugs that killed thousands of people, was winning the double mayoral contest with 8 times more votes than his nearest rival.
The victory during the nationwide midterm elections is a testament to the 80-year-old's enduring influence in the southern city, owing to his reputation as a crime buster that earned him the nicknames Duterte Harry and The Punisher. Duterte's old Facebook account was flooded with congratulatory messages from supporters, with some calling for his return to serve his people. Duterte could become the first Asian former head of state to go on trial at the ICC. His surprise arrest by Philippine police at the request of the ICC caused outrage among his army of supporters, who called it a kidnapping at the behest of a foreign court.
A Los Angeles judge has resentenced 2 brothers serving life in prison for the 1989 murders of their parents in a Beverly Hills mansion, making them eligible for parole. Judge Michael José gave Eric and Leo Menendez a new sentence of 50 years to life. The brothers will now have to argue for their release before the state's parole board. The pair acknowledged killing Kitty and José Menendez, but said they acted in self-defense after years of abuse. The case, which has prompted books and documentaries, still divides America.
Prosecutors argued that the brothers planned the shotgun killings to access their parents' fortune, have yet to take responsibility, and should not be released. After the judge agreed to resentence them, the brothers delivered an emotional statement to the court. They went through the details of the brutal killings and their decision to reload and continue shooting their parents at point-blank range in their living room. Both apologized for their actions and spoke about their hopes to work with sex abuse victims and help those who are incarcerated if they were to be released. Judge José called the brothers' work while in prison remarkable, but noted that their original sentence was justified at the time.
Former Uruguayan President José Mujica, known as Pepe, has died at the age of 89. The ex-guerrilla, who governed Uruguay from 2010 to 2015, was known as the world's poorest president because of his modest lifestyle. His global popularity was unusual for a president of Uruguay, a country with just 3.4 million inhabitants, where his legacy has also generated some controversy. The politician's cause of death is not known, but he had been suffering from esophageal cancer.
As a young man, Mujica was a member of the National Party, one of Uruguay's traditional political forces, which later became the center-right opposition to his government. In the 1960s, he helped set up the Tupamaros National Liberation Movement, MLNT, a leftist urban guerrilla group that carried out assaults, kidnappings, and executions, although he always maintained that he did not commit any murders. Because of the simple way he lived as president, his criticism of consumerism, and the social reforms he promoted, which, among other things, made Uruguay the first country to legalize the recreational use of marijuana, Mujica became a well-known political figure in Latin America and beyond.
United Airlines passengers flying on new Boeing 787-9s will find a new elevated aircraft interior when the fresh design debuts on international flights next year. The Dreamliner aircraft interior, which was unveiled on Tuesday, features new luxury United Polaris studio suites for some business-class travelers, sliding doors and 19-inch screens for standard United Polaris seats, and improvements across classes of service in this nose-to-tail transformation.
United Polaris studio suites will be located in the first row of each business class section, with a total of 8 on board. The new suites are 25% larger than the standard United Polaris offering and feature privacy doors, an extra ottoman seat, exclusive meal options, and a caviar amuse bouche service. Luxury skincare, 27-inch seatback screens, and hoodie pajamas with slippers are among the other amenities for the studio suites. Standard United Polaris seats are also being upgraded with sliding doors to create suites and larger 19-inch screens. Customers can choose seats facing the window or the center of the aircraft for added privacy, or select aisle-facing seats with dividers that lower to accommodate passengers flying together.
The answer for yesterday was C, counterpart. The CEO met with her counterpart in the European office to discuss the new project. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. Trump says the U.S. will end sanctions on Syria. Number 1, sanction, 制裁. The country faced economic sanctions after violating international laws. Number 2, confront, 面对直面问题或挑战. She's confronting many difficulties in her new job. Number 3, prominent, 著名的，显著的. He is a prominent scientist known worldwide. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. In 2011, web developer José penned a blog post that sparked a global movement. He shared a simple yet powerful idea: the digital world should be open to everyone, including people with disabilities. By 2012, this idea had grown into the first Global Accessibility Awareness Day. This special day is dedicated to shining a light on the importance of making digital spaces accessible to all. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host, and I will see you next time.